today's video, and this one is a long time coming. It is my tips on how to study for the NASM CPT exam. I am extremely excited to be filming this because I've been talking about it for a while and I just haven't gotten around to it, and now it's finally here. I do want to preface this by saying that everybody has their own method of studying. And that's actually one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, is because when I was looking on YouTube for tips, I didn't find any that worked for me. And so I'm hoping that these are kind of different tricks that might help some other people. Again, it might not help you. You might be the type of person that likes flashcards. That's just not me. You might be the type of person that just needs to focus on the major important parts of the test. And that's not me. So I just wanted to make that quick disclaimer. And then one more disclaimer is that I purchased the program that gives you the most, which includes the online modules, and that is what I'm really focusing on a lot in this. So if you just bought a plan that only gave you a textbook, you can still follow along with this, but a lot of my tips are going to be based on people who did the online portion as well. So with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. The first place to start is with this bad boy, the textbook. This is where I'm already kind of veering off the track of what everyone else was doing. A lot of people said don't read the textbook through and through. There's no way you're going to read all these pages and retain all this information. You don't need all of this for the test. I had to get out of the mindset of passing a test and go into the mindset of this is my career. This is something I want all the knowledge of for life, not just to pass a test. When I first distinguished that and changed my mindset from passing a test to just studying for my career, that's when I felt like I was really retaining the information a lot better. So personally for me, I know it's not going to be for everybody, I did read this book through and through, chapters 1 through 20. And then all the extra pages at the end. Now, I didn't go in order from chapter 1 to chapter 20 in that sense. Because I had the online modules, the modules are broken up into 10 of them. First module, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but say it could have been module 1 consisted of reading chapters 1, 5, and 7. I would go that way. So if I was on module 1, and the first thing it told me to read was chapter 1, I opened the book and I went to chapter 1, and as I was reading, I would highlight all of the important bits that I felt might be important for me to know in the future. This is the main thing that helped me. Read the chapter, highlight the chapter, write notes on the chapter. After you do that, then again, if you have the online portion, there should be an activity for each chapter. So you would do that activity for that chapter. Once that is all done, and this could take, a day, depending on how long you have to study and your routine and everything. It could take a day, or it might be the span of 3 days to a week where you're focusing on just one chapter. Once that is all done, then you would move on to the next chapter. So then you would do chapter 5, read, highlight, notes, activity. Again, that could take a day to a week, who knows. And then you go into chapter 7, read, highlight, notes, and then the activity. It's just keeping that pattern, making it very simple, keeping that same pattern throughout all 10 modules. But once you're done, all those 3 chapters and all the activities, there's a quiz for that module. Do that quiz and just keep doing that quiz until you pass. If there are any questions on the quiz that you got wrong, I had a separate notebook for what I would call the need to knows, and I just wrote down the questions and the answers for all the things that I got wrong. Which is something I feel like a lot of people forget to do oftentimes, is they focus so much on the things that they know because like they think they got a really good grasp on that. Okay, great, but now you need to focus on what you don't know, because that's going to be the part that makes or breaks the results. I'm going to say this one more time for the people in the back. You read a chapter, you highlight the chapter, you take notes on the chapter, you do the activity, repeat for all the chapters in the module, and then do the quiz. And then write down the things you got wrong for the quiz. That is the main gist of how I studied. That's it. I know it might sound like a lot of steps, but once you get into that habit, it is a very simple concept, and I feel like it makes studying easier. Just stop focusing on passing and just start focusing on retaining the knowledge. That is the main point I want to drive home here. All the other stuff is fine and dandy, and maybe that's what's going to work for you. But as I always say, I really want people who are passionate to be the people that get their certifications. I'm very tired of people that just want it for the sake of having it. And those are the type of people that are going to find their way and maneuver around studying all of the contents. Little side notes now. Modules 1 through 4 goes exactly like how I just explained. Module 5 is the midterm. So what I recommend doing before you take the midterm is just a refresher on all the modules you've done previously. What I would recommend is going through the notes that you took for each chapter to refresh yourself before the midterm. Then you'll take the midterm, and again, same like with the quizzes, see what you got wrong and write them down in your need to knows. Then you'll move on to modules 6 through 9, which again will be the same process. And I won't say it again because I've said it enough times in this video, but it's going to be the same process that I've already discussed with you. And then you move on to module 10, which is the final exam. You'll take the final exam. It only lets you do it once. You're not allowed to do a redo, but you are able to see what you got wrong. And whatever you got wrong on the final exam, you'll write down in your need to knows. At this point, depending on how long this has taken you to do this entire study process, you may have a couple weeks to still wait to take your exam. So you want to be studying the notes that you have taken, but farther than just studying the notes you have taken, you want to just go back and look at all the quizzes you did. You can retake the quizzes as many times as you'd like. So just keep doing quiz after quiz after quiz after quiz. Write down all your need to knows. Study the need to knows so that you know them like the back of your hand, like the rest of this test. And that is what's going to make this test 1,000 times easier. So a quick side note, if you still need more help with studying, then I highly recommend printing out the sheets that they have available for you to print out. This is the postural assessment solutions, which is an extremely important chart to know, but something that I want to make clear is that many people will tell you memorize the chart. What I would recommend is use this sheet, which is the Anatomy Man. Learn all the different muscle groups, learn where they are in your body, then you will have a much easier time with this. First, focus on where the muscles are in your body before you focus on which ones are overactive and underactive. The biggest takeaway from this is to just make sure that you are studying to retain information longer than an exam. And with something like NASM CPT, you're still going to be required to continue educating yourself throughout having a certification. It's not a career where you get certified once and that's it. You have to get 2 CEUs every 2 years, as well as take the recert every 2 years. So keep that in mind. You're going to constantly be studying. You will just get better and better at knowing this information and having this knowledge. And I hope I was able to kind of explain that in a way that made sense. I know that I was reiterating a lot of points, but that's just because I really want to let you know it's so simple. Like, just do one type of studying and follow through. And I guess that is one of the biggest things. Whether you follow my study tips or not, choose a study method and stay consistent with it and make it a habit in whatever way that is going to help you keep the knowledge. I hope you found these tips helpful, and if you did, I would love if you subscribe to the channel because I give much more tips just like this or about any type of health and fitness related content. So I'd love if you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so that you can get notified when I upload my next video. Like, comment, share with your friends. And that's it. So with all that being said, I'm going to go. But before I do, I want to remind you all to stay positive, be active, and most importantly, do what keeps you healthy.